Hey, hello everyone, welcome back to ESA Summer Online 2020. I'll be your host for the next two games. Well, we have quite some games. We have Earthbound right after this, but right now we have Nier Automata. Say hello to our runner, Kyo, and of course, commentator Shabu. How you doing?
Howdy.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine. So for this run, we had one incentive that got mad, so we will see the risky coaster skip attempt.
Can't wait to fail that one and lose 2 minutes.
Exactly. That's gonna be fine, don't worry. But we also had a bit war, and with a whopping $86.66 against 5, Japanese language won. So we're gonna hear some Japanese today.
Alrighty.
Now, one thing I'd like to point out is that Japanese, this is Shabu talking. Hey, I'm commentator. Japanese is a little bit slower RTA. So if you've seen this run before, some things might appear slightly different, and if you're wondering, that's why.
Okay. I will set that now if I remember how to do this properly. Right. Voices in Japanese. Cool. We are set. Well, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right.
All right.
Cleared to launch?
Do the countdown.
All right, let's go. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. Auto scroller time. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually like the second time I've played this with Japanese voices, so this would be cool.
It's pretty interesting. It's nice because it gives me more time to explain tricks and stuff. So first of all, I'd like to say hello. Thank you so much, ESA, for having us. I am Shabu. I will be your commentator for today, and I will be helping out our illustrious, fantastic, bombastic runner, Kyos, and fantastic runner. Honestly, crazy amounts of skill, and I think you're going to see that on display. Really, also very good personality, and I think you'll see that on display as well. So if you know anything about Nier, you'll know that this is like kind of weird. We're in this top-down perspective. I guess if you know anything about Nier, you probably know about the like weird genre switching between shoot 'em up, speed 'em up. So we're gonna start off with the shoot 'em up. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be in here for approximately 4 minutes and 26 seconds. Actually, it's a little bit longer because of Japanese. I want to say 4 minutes and 30-something seconds.
I'll take a sub 430 any day.
I'm pulling that out of my ear. I don't know. But, so we're going to be taking a little bit of intentional damage here to get rid of some recoveries is what they're called. I totally forgot. But a little bit of intentional damage, getting rid of some recoveries, getting rid of the clutter. You know, sometimes you just got to get rid of some clutter in your life and clear things up. Really, you know, just enjoy yourself. Some spring cleaning in the middle of the summer. Now this is a little AI manip to get him to shoot that guy over there. A lot of this opening sequence, since all of the waves are predetermined. So, you know, Kyos, wonderful runner, definitely knows these waves, knows how to deal with them very quickly. And all it is really just going as quickly as possible, going through these predetermined waves, taking some damage, pushing this enemy over here, and getting him to shoot some enemies that come up from the side before they even appear.
You're right, it is a little different.
It is a little bit different, isn't it?
Just a little bit slower. Yep.
It's a little extra sauce for us, you know? Give the viewers a little something to look at, a little something more, you know?
Hey, I'll challenge myself. I'm not gonna lie, as Shabu was talking about, with this game, like I've been speedrunning, I want to say almost 4 years now, and I've run some pretty intense stuff. I think this is one of the most optimized games I've ever seen. Like, we will literally fight and claw for fractions of a second, just if it's like free and we can make it consistent. Hey, this is a 0.3 of a second faster, we will do it every time.
Yeah, it's A ending is pretty rough.
Oh my.
But yeah, so this shmup is honestly especially well optimized. Prologue is incredibly optimized as a category, which is these first like 15 minutes or so. Again, these are going to be approximations because we're getting a little saucy, adding in some language. Japanese is a little bit slower. It's going to throw off our timing a little bit. All these other kind of words that I can keep saying to you. But yeah, so in this opening sequence, I like to talk a little bit about the game and stuff you're about to see because honestly, it is jam-packed. It's got so much stuff going on the screen at all times that it's kind of hard to talk about the minutia, if I wanted to use a large word to make myself feel cooler, of the game and the movement. So one big thing in this game is that we use attacks for almost everything. All of our movement is basically attacks, and we're going to be using that big old sword on 2B's back to zip-zop our way through all of the map, get through tons of walls. The walls are just awful.
Walls are a suggestion in this game.
Exactly. We cut through like a hot knife through butter. It's great. You're going to be seeing us probably out of bounds more often than we are actually inbounds. And Kyo's doing a great job with his opening shmup. Definitely showing a mastery of the strats here.
Good. That'd be like a 426, 427. I'll take it.
That's pretty good.
Oop.
So, go ahead.
Nah, I was just making fun of the pod. The pods in Japanese, I forgot that they are very, very deep voice.
Oh my gosh, you're killing those guys fast. What the heck is going on? It's called we like to call it damage glitch or damage exploit, depending on which side of the fence you are on with regard to the terminology. And basically, it's a dash heavy with a light sword in the heavy slot. And this basically gives us this spinning sword, real fun, having a great time. And for some reason, it gives us ×5 damage on every damage tick that the sword spins and hits. So, you know, we just melt through enemies. And then we're going to pair that with what's called taunting. If you've played the game, you know that A2 can taunt. Did you know everyone else can taunt too? If you flash your flashlight at the enemies, they get really annoyed at this blinding light turning off and on like a strobe light. We've all been there, I get it, and their faces turn red and we're able to deal 2 times damage. Everything is multiplicative, and then you just saw, I'm also talking really fast because a lot of stuff going on. I have to build a base. I'm sorry guys, hope you stay with me. And then you also saw Kyos take a buff, and buffs are also multiplicative. So all of this damage is multiplicative, and it just makes us melt enemies instantly. Whew. The fighting's fast, my talking fast.
It's all right. We got our first real skip of the game here. You know what? Didn't feel comfortable with that. Oh, hi. Let's try that again.
All right. This is called a crane skip, and again, you're going to see us doing all of this movement. That first thing to get all of that height is called a lift, or what we call a lift, which is a jump heavy, and it gives us that sword slash up into the air, and that's going to help us get the height that we need to get through or over a lot of these invisible walls. Sorry, I had a little tiny baby burp there.
It's all good. I had to throw it. It's one of those like nervous run ticks. I had to throw in some very nice spaghetti first, just to make sure the water's ready.
Dude, you know what they say? Before competition, spaghetti is great. You're carb loaded up, you're ready to go, you're at your peak performance now. You've had a little bit of spaghetti and now you're ready to go. Chef Kyos in the house.
I'll take that. Nice quad.
That was a great laser. That was a great laser. So again, all of these enemy spawns are predetermined, so this is just about getting through them as quickly as possible. And then we're going to be going to a notorious skip called Bridge Skip, and this is going to be using a lot of the movement abilities in our toolkit, which are all, again, attacks. So we're going to do a lift, and then a light, heavy, jump light, heavy, plunge. And that's...
giving me the business today.
Dude, it's a hard skip. It's a really hard skip. It's deceivingly difficult. Very, very tight.
There we go.
There you go. You get up on top of that, it skips a little bit of time.
Otherwise,
you have to go all the way around.
Japanese voices are messing me up.
Japanese voices. It's just the JP voices. It's fine. We're also gonna clip out right here because you know, whatever we can. You just do a lift heavy and then you plunge on in, and it's a good time.
There we go.
So this, if you played through the game, we're skipping a lot of stuff here, getting through a lot of stuff really quickly. Nice, really good stuff. Okay.
God laser.
So now,
there we go.
Oh,
I can do this. I've been really working on God Laser.
You got it like that?
Yeah, there's actually a very large region that you can get God Laser with. As someone that doesn't like to do things 100% correct, as long as I can get it to work and I'm consistent with it, I'll do it in like a very weird way.
As long as it works, right?
Yep. Yeah, sorry about that.
So,
that was a little nervy in the beginning. We'll keep it a little bit more steady after this.
Dude, it happens. Are you going for swag?
Nah, I can't swag. Ame won't let me.
to...
Ame's like, look, you need one less reason to soft lock in this game, all right? All you do is lose time, so how about you just don't do that, all right?
Ame, I know you're watching. I hope you know I'm making a sad puppy face right now. You've made me sad. Also, I have to ask, are you a right piper or a left piper or a no piper?
If anything, I always go left pipe.
Oh,
but I'm actually center line guy.
I don't have to leave the call. We're good.
Why would you right pipe? Who would do that?
I don't know. You'll know what I'm talking about, by the way, in just a moment, guys. There's a little thing we can...
I could probably show off both of them.
No, just the left pipe is fine.
Oh, I'll do center, left, and then I won't even touch right because we know that's bad juju.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. All right, so again, we're just going to be damaging really fast with this double damage exploit, double damage glitch. I'm just going to call it double damage, or not double. What? Not yet.
Not
oh
yet.
My god.
We don't even have slow-mo yet. Calm down. Although that would make this section so much easier.
We have slow-mo. It just loses time.
Yeah. But we have slow-mo, but we don't have double damage.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that in a little bit when we see our good old friend, Mr. Kendall. Now, there's a couple little things in Prologue that you have to be aware of while you're watching. So first of all, this is our buddy Angles. He's a pal. Say hi to Angles. Actually, everyone hates him, but that's okay. And we're just going to be dealing damage here. This is just a timed section. We're just dealing damage, getting to a certain threshold because we don't want to have to damage him later. Now, in a second here, after this timed section is up, we are going to get a little RNG check, and we can lose like 26 seconds if we get punches. So everyone, press RNG. What? Excuse me. Press RNG.
R for no punches.
Press R for no punches. Press R for no punches. Clap loses about 4 seconds, so anything other than punches, we'll take. And
I might be able to work on helping. Like if we get punches right now, you can slow-mo because Angles can't do the same attack twice in a row, I think. Realistically, okay. But it doesn't look like I'm gonna have a chance to even try.
All right, guys.
Hey,
press
no
R harder.
Punches.
Nice. That is perfect RNG. That's exactly what we want.
This is also my favorite attack pattern. You don't have to do anything.
Just
all right, you want no pipe or pipe on this one? I'll go pipe. Ooh, nope. I got nothing. I forgot that you have to lift for that one. Get some coaster skip practice in real quick. But yeah, this game, literally, the walls are optional. Most of it's out of bounds. I think I timed it once. We spend almost like, I want to say like 10 to 15 minutes out of bounds or breaking through walls. Like right here, completely out of bounds. I'm just standing on nothing. This doesn't exist. See if I can get pipe. Nope. No pipe for you. Right now in chat, Ame's gonna get mad because I do ninjas differently. And by differently, I mean wrongly.
By the way, Kios, I don't mean to get in the way of your masterpiece, you know, brush on the canvas. But I think we're picking up a little bit of echo from some speakers or something.
It's all good. I'll get it fixed in just a second. I'm gonna have to save this ninjas first.
Yeah, no, you're all good. I just wanted to bring it up. I didn't want to. I was just gonna bring it up so we could
I got you. That should do it.
Air out our laundry.
The one thing I didn't have a chance to do is properly set a noise gate. If you want to go ahead, I'll see if I'm getting any backwash.
All right, backwashing.
Yeah. Trailing audio, backwash, whatever you want to call it.
All right, so this part used to have an RNG check back in my day. This had an RNG check, but now we can get rid of that RNG check. This is another section that's going to be a little bit different. This is a 100% dialogue-based timed section. So when this dialogue ends, this section ends. And unfortunately, if Angles is in the middle of a really long attack, then we're stuck in the middle of a really long attack. It's like watching a 4-hour movie, except that it's like 10 seconds long, but it feels intensely more painful than watching a 4-hour movie. But we can actually avoid that by pressing back on our controllers or going to the submenu right here to try and get the animations to stop, but the dialogue keeps going, which allows us to just sauce on through, just like, just, I don't know how to say what I'm saying, but just glide on into this punch, because that's the animation we need to continue.
That was a little long, but that's a little trick called pause buffering, which Shabu was kind of explaining there. You can kind of cheat your way through it. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. That one probably should have just kind of let it go and rolled on it.
No, I think it was good. It was a nice opportunity to show off the trick. Thank you.
Thank you.
So another
Angles.
trick coming up. Thank you, Angles. So another trick coming up is if you attack and then dodge, then you just resets your attack, and you can just sauce them up, and we're done with prologue. There we go.
That attack animation is so long, by the way. If you like for some reason miss hitting the dodge, it's not great.
Oh yeah, no, it locks you up. Also, a big thing we're going to be doing a lot is jumping or dashing or doing specific movements to avoid getting a slow walk. Right there at that line, leading up to the other line, you get this really long slow walk. We're just avoiding that by doing that jump over there, little gymnastics, if you will.
She has nice form on that front flip, just very like momentum based.
Really beautiful roll, lands in the correct part of the foot, and just really breaks the fall well, But anyway, so we're coming up on the hardest boss of the game.
Menu boss.
So if everyone could just be quiet. Shh.
That was completely weird. Like, I literally have no idea what just...
man.
Oh, is that what I was stuck on? I was waiting for JP voices for that?
I actually don't know, but we can blame
I have no idea unless I just drilled a hole through my controller. Awkward. I've never broken a controller, ever. I don't know what anyone is talking about.
Oh gosh, have you?
I go through them about, like, once every 4 months.
Speaking of going through stuff, a big thing of this game is going through dialogue triggers without actually getting them. So right here, Kyos is going to talk to our companion 9S, who's a kind of an angry boy later on, but for now he stays pure and fresh in a ending.
Wine-S?
But Wine-S. Yeah, no, but basically the way I like to think about it is if we've got one dialogue and another dialogue, they're kind of like two rams. Have you ever watched a video where like the rams headbutt each other and you can hear the like conk noise and they kind of just end up walking away from each other? Yeah, that's what happens with the dialogue. They end up headbutting each other and then walking in opposite directions, and we're left with nothing, which is fantastic for a speed run. Because then we can get dialogue, we can store dialogue, we can just little dialogue there, and then have them ram into each other, and then they're all gone, and we're left with nothing, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the audio cue for this is in Japanese either. I'll figure it out. There we go. That looks perfect.
So this is another shmup section.
Yoko Taro does have a love for shmups. Especially when they honestly don't really belong in a game. He's just like, you know what would go good here? Shmup section.
At least we didn't get a rhythm game this time. That's the final boss. Anyway. But yeah, so the shmups, again, are just memorized waves. So just really clean, knowing where the enemies are coming, trying to get them while they're off-stream. Jeez. We're getting them off-stream, on-stream, on-screen, off-screen. We're getting them everywhere. We're
I also like
for,
doing that. If you get comfortable enough, you can actually do your pod program before the enemy actually spawns, and it just lands right into it. Again,
yeah.
You put in 1,000 hours into a game, you start to pick a few things up.
You start remembering a few things. I definitely feel that. That's how I felt with doing Mackerel hundreds of times.
I'm just sad I didn't get to do the everything that lives designs to end. Especially my runs about 5 minutes in when I reset out of frustration.
That's the Nier way. All right, so a little bit of fancy-pantsy movement over here. Just going to get up here a little bit quicker, and then there's a cutscene that'll replace us somewhere else. Again, dash punching into the cutscene so we don't get a slow walk. Now, dash punching, that's a weird movement option, and actually I hate it, but luckily we won't be stuck with it very long. Dash punching is just a hair of a fraction of a little bit tasty morsel bit faster than just dash chaining. Wow. Whew.
Words are tough tonight, huh?
Words are
it's all right.
so
My
hard.
fingers are like pretty useless anyway. I already finished my one run of the day. Like this one's just gravy.
Well, I'm glad to see that that we're getting the gravy. I do like gravy. It's the best part of the meal. But yeah, dash punch is a little bit faster than dash chaining, and then for those of you wondering, sprinting is quite a bit slower than dash chaining. So yeah. Soon we're going to get a much flashier, much cooler looking movement tech, which is going to replace dash punching, and dash punching is just really annoying to do, I'll be honest.
It's awkwardly
timed
is the issue for me. Like, it's very awkward.
Yeah, and in case you didn't pick it up, the way that you perform a dash punch is you dash, and then you punch.
It's like ball in a cup. What does it do? Well, you get the ball in the cup. It's ball in the cup.
What it do though? What do it? You know? Like
sometimes it really do indeed be that way.
It do be that way. Sometimes the dash punch do be a dash punch. Now we are going to do everyone's favorite quest, which is fetch quests. Let's give it a huge round of applause for fetch quests. Let's go fetch quests.
Dude, I love fetch quests. Wow, no spawns? All right, I'll take it. Well, they spawned, they just didn't show up on the screen anywhere. It's nice.
Yeah, that was good. So we fortunately know where everything is, so we don't really need to worry about it. Just gonna pick up some items, then go over here, kill some enemies, shoot them a little bit so they aggro. You know, the huge. Everybody loves it. You love to see it. We're gonna pick up these
looks like a nice little
back.
setup here. I think 9S may have just caused a little bit of a problem there, because now everybody's aggroed. Thanks, bro. When in doubt, just kill everything and pick up whatever drops on the ground.
True.
Oh, there it is.
We had a runner named Remetsu that did this one time, and the drop landed inside one of the concrete blocks over there, and couldn't get to it. So everyone watching was just like, I don't know what you do in this scenario, honestly.
If run back to resistance can't save and reload, I guess.
Alright, do a little bit of a thing here.
I like that lady. She's really nice. She has a cool head.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something.
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. It kind of looks like the mask I have up in my room.
You know, I think I have one of those sitting on my desk.
Alright, so one really cool thing is that this fetch quest actually gives us enough stuff to upgrade our weapon called Virtuous Contract. By the way, that's going to be important because we're going to refer to it as VC. Specifically right now it is VC2 because it's Virtuous Contract level 2. So VC2 has upgraded weapon attack speed and weapon attack. So dash swinging, which is what we're doing now, which is dash and then heavy, but not to be confused with damage glitch dash heavy. It's a different timing, is a little bit faster than dash punching. So bye-bye dash punching, going in the bin. See you
Into the
later.
sin bin. Happy hockey season. Shout outs to Seattle. They just got an NHL team, the Seattle Strong Bads. It's actually the Krakens, but it looks like Trogdor. So I've just called them the Seattle Strong Bads.
Dude, that's a thing. Trogdor is something I haven't thought about in a while. That's awesome.
I figured I could bring up hockey. We're in like a European marathon, so like they like hockey. They're really good at hockey.
Are you a hockey fan?
Yeah, I'm just generally a Philadelphia sports fan, even though it's tough life.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anyway, so we're coming up on a, not to brush that off, we can talk about the Eagles later. But we're gonna pick up some buys here, which are really, really important, especially resilience. You saw quick, lightning fast menus over here, so it's a little hard to see, but picking up the most important thing, well, I guess the buffs are really important. We got a nice sachet. Also, we're out of bounds. We're just setting up for a save warp a little bit later. This is also a nice little beeline, and as everybody in the history of Nier speedrunning has ever had to say when they're commentating, haha, 2 beeline.
That's a good one.
Yep, canned laughter ensues. Everybody loved it. But what I was going to say is what we got the buys there. Also, we're going to be out of bounds again really soon. It's getting tiring to say the word out of bounds, so you'll see. This is oobs. We're gonna just do some sick oobs over here. So we're out of bounds again, and this is just to get past this. We don't have to talk to Jackass, who opens up or blows up the barricade, and instead
Yes,
we're
that's
just gonna
actually
kinda
her
zip
name.
zoom. Yes. No, I'm not being mean to an NPC. That is their name. Picking up a little trigger over here. Nice, beautifully executed. Okay.
It ain't a gold
now
split, but it was close.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't even have my
Sounds
timer
good.
up. I just noticed how little sketchy that is. I think that's one of the things about this run is a lot of the runners, myself included, were very hard on ourselves because even like this line wasn't perfectly straight that I took. Like if I straighten that out, that's like a free almost 0.2 of a second getting to the pod. That's make or break later sometimes.
Yeah. Good sand slide though.
Yeah. I like the sand slide. It's very swoopy.
Yeah, I love them too. It's one of my favorite parts of the run, honestly. All right, so now rewind your brains to those buys we did. We got some buffs, we got a sachet, we got some animal bait. That's to get an animal later to set up for a really, really intense frame perfect trick, which Kios seems to be very, very good at. So I don't think we'll see any problems there. But the big important thing also, that was very much important. When we get a cutscene later, it's going to double pick up stuff, and if they dropped taunt, then
Taunt +2, I'm resetting.
And we're in business. Taunt ups our damage by a lot. Okay, we've got a really big skip coming up. I'm gonna be just so fast you can't even. Oh my gosh, resilience. The chip resilience allows us to get super armor, so we don't get staggered above 80% health. That's the chip that Kios picked up earlier, and it's gonna make the run just so much nicer. It was so awful before that chip was put in the route.
I'm not gonna lie, I have like an practice save that I just run chipless just to like practice tech and stuff. And even I want to say Bokushi, the one in the water, is like ridiculous to try and do without resilience. Like you don't really think about like, oh, it's just you become uninterruptible as long as your HP is above 80%. It makes a lot of these fights literally doable. Some of them are just like actually incredibly awful if you don't have it. I'm gonna go really safe here. Just put it down.
I would
just gonna go really safe there.
Do you mind if I explain what's going on to the
Go
people?
ahead.
So basically, Nier is really interesting in that, in an annoying way, if I'm going to be entirely honest, where we have very hard points that you have to hit. And so, oh my gosh, I forgot the SD noise with Jake's voices.
I didn't.
Like ear-wrenching. So when you're out of bounds, a lot of the movement is going to be not a beeline because we're going to be picking up triggers that we have to get to advance plot. So you're going to see that especially in a skip later called Factory, which is going to be all about zip and zopping around the factory to pick up triggers out of bounds.
That was the cleanest I've ever done that, by the way.
That was very clean. That was good. So this is
No slow-mo
a pit fight. Pit fight's really important for getting EXP and some mats, as we like to call them. You know, as the cool kids like to say, mats instead of materials, because the abbreviation is RAD. So this is important for some EXP and materials. Also, you're going to see taunting. You can see the taunting. They've got big old red faces because they're overheating, I guess. And it makes them take big damage. Unfortunately, it makes us take the big deepest too. So you got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this in JP either. Oops.
I think you start now.
It sounds good. That was a little late. Either way, that was really clean pit for me. So I'm not too worried about drops. I am worried that I missed that, though. There we go. Much better.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we're doing slow-mo damage, double damage glitching now.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that, or should I?
Go for it, because I'm just going to make sure I don't beef this.
Yeah, understandable. All right, so now, you remember how we had damage glitch? And it was wonderful. And it was everything you could ever dream of. Throwing out that sword, watching it spin, watching it do 5 times damage, plus the multiplicative damage of taunting and all that stuff. Well, now we've got 2 of them, because we put the light sword on the heavy slot for 1 and 2, and now we can weapon swap while we attack, and we can have 2 swords swinging at the same time, essentially doubling our already, like, super buffed up damage. Now, we've got another thing where if you charge a pod program, so you remember that laser we saw earlier that was super cool and killed all the enemies real fast? It was kind of rad. Well, if we charge that up, it actually slows down everything around you. So you can see it in action a little bit here. Some stuff is falling, and now it's not falling because we slowed down everything else. Fortunately for us, this applies to enemies. So we can slow down enemies, and that's called slow-mo. So double damage glitch slow-mo, or slow-mo DDG, or any other variation of combination of words you could put there is what we do for combat. And so keep in mind, combat is a lot of work in this game. You're handling taunt, which is flashing the flashlight, which is a manual input to turn on and off. You're also managing dash heavy. You're managing positioning, and you're managing slow-mo, which you don't get an infinite amount of. Once the other pod appears, you have to pod fire to cancel it. So you're handling all of this stuff, which makes Nier a very high APM speed run because of the combat. Also, we're out of bounds. We're picking up a quick save, quick load, just doing a little save scum.
If you have weak hands or wrists, I'd advise maybe running something that's not this game. Like, it's or particularly bad.
If you want to hate everything. Mackerel is
my wrists make this wonderful clicking noise constantly. It's like I'm summoning cicadas.
Is that you clapping over there? What's going on?
Is that a tin drum falling downstairs, or is that just you moving your hands?
I feel that. All right, we're coming up on a saucy section that spectators love to see. Ooh, that alliteration. Sorry. But yeah, people really like amusement park. But I think we could probably ask if there's any words from our fantastic hosts at ESA.
Well, I actually have a donation ready. We have a $100 donation from ENF Outlaw saying, "Good luck with the run. You only get 1 shot, 1 opportunity. You better go capture and not let it slip. Much love." And do I have like 1 minute to explain a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
right,
we're just going to be going out of bounds for some stuff, picking up some stuff. I'll just preemptively say we're just avoiding some triggers. That's all.
All right. So for the next run, there are a couple of bit wars going on to rename some of the characters. And usually bit wars are cut off during a game or before a game. But in this case, we actually have to cut them up like half an hour before the run starts. So let's say if this run, this Nier run, hits the 1 hour mark, that's when I'm going to cut off that bit war. And the reason for that is simply RNG manipulation. The runner needs to know what the names are before the run starts, so he can manip the RNG for the game. Do keep in mind that also because of this manipulation, we can only use one letter for the name. So keep that in mind while you donate. So don't wait with your snipe. Do it now, because in half an hour, we're going to cut it off. That's all I want to say.
Shoutouts to Dr. Swellman, who's one of my big homies running Earthbound. He is running Earthbound. Yeah, we talked about this. Make sure to stick around for that run. It's really cool. He has been hard on that game for years.
By the way, speaking of cool stuff going on, we're super out of bounds, and we have been for a while. This is a skip called Outer Scroller Coaster, which is honestly one of the only good skip names. Oh, beautiful. Really,
I'm sorry. That was one of the ugliest coaster skips I've ever done, and apparently I can't.
Sorry, just the adrenaline from thinking you failed it.
I'm about to. It literally wouldn't give me the. It would not give me that. So I'm gonna have to get creative and save time here, or I'm gonna have to wait to change 9S until later, because that just wasted a good bunch of time.
Yeah, so let me explain how this skip works. First of all, you get the coaster, you get a trigger on the coaster, then you activate another trigger with that kind of weird movement that we saw Kyos trying to do, and then do. And now Kyos is doing pod slow-mo, which is a result of that kind of wonky movement, because we only have as long as the coaster is going. We don't actually skip doing the coaster. The coaster just goes on without us, and so we're going to teleport on over there in a second, but this saves time because we're going to pick up a spear, which is going to set up for a new type of movement tech in a moment here. So just picking up the spear, and
hopefully
then,
it's going to be very tight.
Yeah. Oh! Did you?
No spear. I got the skip though. It was just, I've never had to do that. It just walled me right off from getting the lift. So we're gonna eat about like a minute at a time, because I have to go grab the spear. Sadly, I tried my best.
You could buy machine spear at Pascal's, I think, but
would it do the same thing?
I'm pretty sure. Let me ask him.
Worst case scenario, all said and done, we're just gonna have to lose a minute here, sadly. It's not the best, and I apologize. I actually got it the way I was supposed to. It just didn't go all the way through. So it's not a full F, it's just like a lowercase f.
I honestly don't like spear dashing, so it's a dub for me. I know we're still gonna see it, but
that was not at all how it's supposed to look like. I don't know how I managed to just keep it exactly where I needed to be, but I mean, at this point, just consider it bonus content, because you'll basically see the back half of like what I would call marathon spear, which is the marathon safe way to get it, because things can go very wrong here. Like if I would have in any way, shape, or form messed up that skip, besides just either getting it like I did or missing it, just straight missing it, you can actually basically just bonk the game and it won't proceed, and you have to go save and reload and hope that it works.
Do you need spear for skips? Do you rely on spear for skip?
I'm gonna try door skip with punches. Shoutouts to Elsum.
I'm just asking because if not, then it's faster to buy the spear, I think. But if you need it, if you want it for skips, just for like, you know, to have it.
Yeah, I'll just go get it. We'll just go get it.
Not about it.
It'll be a tour for everybody.
Tour de force. Speaking of force, we SD'd there, and that actually is super on purpose. We're setting up for a really intense trick coming up.
Nope, I can't do it. Sorry, Ella. Oh well. If you have spear, you can do this really handy clip and get behind the door and actually clip through it, avoid this dialogue, go around. It's actually pretty cool. But I'll go get the spear really quick. You'll see the remaining half of that trick, and then how we'd get back inbounds as well, which is actually pretty cool. Like, 'cause if you, it's like what? I'd say maybe like a 20, 30-second time loss to go and just get the spear the way that we're, I guess, almost intended to do it.
Yeah. Well, very, very, almost.
Well, like, kind of in a way. Like, because the way I would do it is go in from, just take the sewer instead of doing sewer skip.
Yeah.
And then just do the back clip.
I'm mainly talking about this section of,
yeah.
getting the spear.
Yoko Taro himself was like, this is how I get the spear.
Yeah, Taro has no time for other ways of getting the spear. Everybody knows that. But I want to talk about the reason we SD'd is because we're setting up for a trick, which is really precise and really difficult to do. So when you SD, when you get up, you have iframes, and so when you set up this SD, you're still in the iframes, and so we're going to use that to have a boar or a moose. It's easier with a boar. Push us into a wall and get us back from the resistance camp, which we're going to in a second here, all the way back to Pascal's village in the blink of an eye. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. It is a pretty difficult trick, but Kyos is pretty well practiced in it.
Oh, I forgot what this sounds like in Japanese.
Oh. Yep. So this is spear dashing.
It's not as bad in English, I promise.
It's still bad, and I hate spear dashing. I'll stand on that. I'll take that L. I know that there are literally a couple of us. But it's a quote unquote cool movement tech that's much faster than normal. As you can definitely see here, very fast movement. It unfortunately looks and sounds like this though. Yeah. It's done by canceling moves. So that brings me into a wonderful little tidbit about self-destruct. So what we're doing right here is self-destruct, activating self-destruct for a second. And self-destruct is basically like the Swiss Army knife of Nier speedruns. It can reset your heavy in midair so we can gain just a little bit more height, which is necessary for some skips. It also cancels animations. It helps us keep momentum. It helps us stop momentum. If you can think about it, it can probably do it. SD can feed your children. It can pay your bills. It can't do any of those things, but the things like with regards to gameplay, it definitely can do.
I'm just gonna safety save here just in case things go like weird with the skip.
Yeah, I think. No problem. That's definitely understandable. It's pretty easy to screw up.
I mean, we got coaster skip, and that was rather sketchy, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah. All right, so you remember how we picked up that sachet earlier from the trader when we got resilience, the all-important resilience chip? So that sachet allows us to ride animals along with an animal bait. So we're gonna pick up an animal companion to help us out with the skip.
So we're either gonna get galactic pork or the moose. Looks like we got a moose.
Can I name him Norman?
Norman the moose? I like it. I'll roll with it. Yo, the galactic pork was trying to get in on that real hard though.
Muscling in.
My favorite is when the AI in this game is sometimes what I would call a bit questionable. I'm sure everyone who's run this game to at least a certain level has put down animal bait. They're like, yeah, dude, there's like 3 of them. Like whoever's like, you get a nice clump. Like, dude, it doesn't matter what I get. Just like they're right here, and then they decide to start circling around the bait because they're both body blocking each other. And you go, well, that was nice. It was a good run. I'm glad I was 20 seconds ahead there just to reset because animals.
The good old holy boar trio.
Yep. Ooh, I was not thinking with my good brain there.
Operator 6 is boring. We're going to talk to a door instead.
Oh, at least we didn't have to listen to 6-0 whine.
I love 6-0. 6-0's great. The door's more exciting, but okay. So this part's spooky.
All right, I think I got the lineup right. I think I got it.
Yeah. This looks perfect. Well, at least you have the safety save, right?
Yeah. At least I have the safety save. Apologize on that one. All right. Well, don't worry. It's. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So a little bit unfortunate, but we're gonna pick up another animal bait, and again, unfortunate that you fell for it because that's a bit. It's a death word.
Suckers! Yeah, it's
very
interesting that there's a
elaborate
death
bit.
warp there for some reason, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah. So the way that progress works in this game is that you keep items and story progress in A ending and B ending. So when you die, you keep items and story progress. So we can just save here, grab the item from Anemone, and then die, and then we still have the item that we need, and it just is a very, very nice, convenient death warp.
Which is, it's also really handy because the way we run this game, it's an IGT, so it's load removed. I'm a big fan of load remover. It levels the playing field for everyone. But like, it's a really handy time save also in like the RTA sense, because you don't have to run all the way back from Resistance Camp to Pascal.
Yeah.
You can just kind of like, all right, I'm done here. Womp. Shoutouts to Engels giving me the business there. Speaking of times,
Engels just punch you?
Yeah, he kicked me. He's also set me on fire before. He's knocked me all the way off of this tree. Yeah, there's all sorts of fun things that can happen here.
Yeah. Speaking of fun things, we're about to see 2B turn into an octopus and just like on through a little slurpy hole. That's,
yeah, I actually started doing it with Spear and it's easy. That's one of the reasons I like Spear. Like, yeah, it's a risk if I don't get it. But the Spear, something about the forward momentum of this really helps us break through like walls and objects as we need to.
So one of my favorite things is this, you know, quote-unquote boss, first of all, isn't mandatory. And second of all, this boss arena just has a hole in the wall. It's great. We can just jump right through it. But it's only for like a specific part. It's honestly, like, deceptively difficult.
No, didn't get it. I'll do the backup.
Yeah. And there's a backup, which, fortunately for us, you know, do you know what's just as silly as having a hole in the wall? Having the hole be too short. Or having the wall be too short. And we can just jump over it.
I was a little bit, didn't go a little bit left. Needed a little bit more left. You know, like how I need a little bit more cowbell. Just a little bit more left would have done it.
A little more.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah, that trick's deceptively difficult. It's one of the easiest to do technically, but one of the hardest to actually pull off.
You just jump twice, but it has to be at a very, very specific angle, and there's a bit of timing involved with it. I've started using the Spear to actually pretty great success. Like, I used to get it like maybe once every 10 tries. Now it's like almost 50 or 60% because you can just pull yourself through with the Spear. You'll see a lot of that with some of the tricks that we're going to do in the rest of the run is we just basically use the Spear and we just get sucked right through a wall.
The Spear has great clipping power. Its highest clipping power stuff is like heavy hold, for some cases pod launch, but Spear just blows all of those straight out of the water. Also, we're about to do a glitch that is probably a little dated at this point. It should be called Discord glitch now, but you know, that's fine. So Skype glitch. Basically, we're talking to Commander, right? Commander's talking to us, all this stuff. We're not too excited, so we're just going to hang up on her. But for the rest of the run, Commander and everyone else is so upset with our phone habits that they won't even ring anymore. They're not even going to ring us anymore. They're just going to start talking to us. So instead of having that bloop, bloop, we're just going to start hearing people talking right away because they know we'll just hang up on them if they don't do that. So
it's really handy because that allows us to skip like some dialogues as need be, like just that little bit of time save as well.
And it all adds up. It's really good. It's also persistent through saves. So nice little bit of time save.
Yep, always do that. Well, it sets everything up properly. Like this is my little corner. I show it off like it's my house. Like, this is how I like to have things set up because it keeps everyone in check. I don't have to deal with range damage. I just get to go into this. So if you missed slow-mo double damage glitch earlier and like really want to see what it looks like up close, this is probably the best example we can give you in the game. You notice that both swords are out and spinning at the same time, and you can watch all the damage ticks just pile up on this guy. I mean, we're not even buffed. We're 7 levels below, but we're already halfway through his entire HP bar, so...
this is
time this right. Timed it wrong, that's okay. Gets rid of the small in my inventory. That's fine. Take a level up there. And no bonkers here, but we do the
Getting Z-axis so hard.
It's all good. I got it.
Yeah. All right, so we do a super high jump. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you have time, you probably can have time to talk about Negotiations Escape. There's like 4 or 5 different variations of this skip. See if Shabu can run them all down.
I cannot. There's basically there's a trick that's incredibly precise and difficult that we in the community like to call bonkers skip, and you know it's because Nina says bonkers, but we skip this dialogue by canceling it with another dialogue over in a far corner of the city ruins part of the map, and it's the speed star, and so we have to position ourselves in a very specific spot, which is incredibly easy to soft lock yourself in, and you lose out on a level, and it's pretty. I don't think anyone's really used it to its potential yet.
Did you know that Alloy Arc found a way to get rid of that soft lock recently?
Yes. Yeah, I did know that. But
insane.
I do have to ask, why is it important to leave the arena anyway if we're not skipping the dialogue?
Well, I don't know. I don't make the games, man. I just break them.
All right. Well, the main reasons, there's 2 reasons, is to clear out this enemy area because, as I said, all of our movement is attacks, and unfortunately, this game has fortunately and unfortunately for us, this game has a soft lock-on system, which will screw up our movement if we are near an enemy and we're doing an attack. Okay. Now, also, we pick up a chest there that is needed for VC3 level ups, which, if you remember, Virtuous Contract is our small sword on our back. And it's VC2 right now, and VC3 just increases attack speed and damage, and it's just an all-around good thing to have.
VC3 is so important, I have a little note that sat on my desk for months that literally just says Dented 4, Titanium 3, Cable 3. That's what you look for, and you learn to look for when you do the next shop that we're about to do.
Yeah. And that chest you picked up, I believe, was the memory alloy, right?
3 titanium alloy. Memory alloy is Nier Gestalt or Replicant. Yeah. Shoutouts to that game coming out too. Awesome.
There is memory alloy though in this game too.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is.
Yeah, I was just mixing it up. Thanks, A to Z.
Thanks. Sponsored by Drakengard though.
Sponsored by Drakengard.
If you have any interest in running this game, www.sponsoredbydrakengard.com.
We'll take
it should link to the Discord, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You have to do it for the waifus.
It's very good.
All right, shop time.
Last time I did a run, I forgot to buy here.
That's not looking good, Chief.
Yeah.
That's looking good though. So let's have some more fun and let's have some more fun and play a little risky here.
All right, so selling a lot of chips so that that Kios can set up for a lot of chip space, because it looks like Kios got very lucky with some spicy hot taunt chips. Goes on Shabu's hot chips list.
I'm just gonna do one. I don't wanna go super risky. Like I could do taunt +2, but is really now the time to do it?
Yeah, that's
the answer is yes,
if you're not
but
confident.
I'm pretty confident in it, but I also don't want to put the marathon any further behind than I planned it to be. Because I built into the estimate failing one skip pretty massively. So I kind of use that already, so I'll just, besides taunt +1's pretty good enough for what we're doing. Taunt +2 just makes a bunch of stuff riskier. As Shabu was explaining earlier, taunt chips increase the damage. I think taunt +1 is like 160% extra damage. Downside, we also take like 160% extra damage, so it can be, stuff can spiral out of control very quickly. Like taunt +2 in the final section of the final boss, if your buffs wear off and he's taunted, you can get wiped in one hit.
Yeah, it makes a lot of things very scary.
Oopsies.
You could pod pat here.
You
can pod pat a bit.
Oh yeah. How do I pod pat?
Mouse. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think I have it set up to do pod pat properly. Anyway, this is with taunt +1 and crit +1, so you'll see once they start glowing red, they mysteriously explode afterwards for some reason.
Taunt damage increase is insane.
Hi, best
and then
boy.
add on.
Bye, best boy.
Bye, best boy. I love you. Bye, friendo.
Well, hey, you guys.
Oh gosh, it's so awful.
What? Hey, they donated to charity for this. You can deal with it for an hour.
Oh no, definitely worth. Definitely worth. Now this is one of my favorite sections in the game, and I think from like a spectator perspective or a viewer perspective, this is one of the most like cool looking sections in the run. At least in old man brain, Shabu. This used to be one of the coolest sections, people's favorite fan favorite part of the run. Basically, it's just like really clean movement through here, just getting up and over all these rocks and just beelining, and then we do this really major skip that skips the entire castle. And it's just really cool to look at because it's so blatantly out of bounds and wrong that it just looks rad, and I love it. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to clip out behind a route. Oh, wait, no, we've got... do you do Rainbow Road or Mario Kart?
Yes. I think I do Rainbow Road.
Do the long jump or the drown warp?
Long jump. So Rainbow Road, yeah. It took me a second there. Yeah. I was thinking.
So Kios is going to be a cool certified hot runner. And do a very crazy long jump. Longest long jump we have in the run.
It's actually very long. I've measured it once, like how long it actually is out. You know the little area at the flooded city?
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, the moose was going straight for that little
corner. Yep, I had to push him out of the way. One animal was harmed in the making of this run. I'm sorry. But yeah, like there's an area we'll be headed to in Flooded City where, oops, there we go. That jump that we just did actually covers the entire distance from the lip of the berm all the way to the water at the landing area, which is an insane amount of distance.
That is a lot of different distance. Also, we're done with the castle now.
Yep, oh yeah, sorry, I talked all the way over the castle, my bad. It's okay, we're gonna meet the best waifu in the game. All other opinions are wrong.
Your opinion is correct. I agree. Nothing brings me more joy than A2. Alright, be nice. Be nice, A2.
Looks like a good setup there. Yep. I'll allow it. Because now I got her in the corner.
Yep.
With a crit.
Ooh,
with
a crit.
Ooh.
By the way, you can tell crits by the huge like crack on the screen. It looks like a crack and it makes the glass shattering kind of noise. Not that one.
Yeah, that was a little rough. That's alright.
But no, that was pretty good. I think it was a good fight.
She can be mean if she wants to.
Yeah. All right, so there's a little trigger here that tells us to go back. We don't have to do that. Just high jump over it and say no thanks. I don't want to go the other way because that's like a 2-minute time loss.
There we go. Yeah, it's very interesting. This game has really, like, I spent a year with this, has learned me how, like, a lot of other video games work and how skips work with the concept of, like, boundaries and invisible walls. Because before, like, I really got into this, I was like, invisible wall, can't get around it. Now it's like every time I see an invisible wall in any sort of game I'm playing casually, I'm like, I wonder how I can break through this now. Because there's pretty much always a way. You just need to figure out what it is.
All right, we're coming up on everyone's favorite part of the run.
Flooded City and Grun.
The part where we hear words from our...
I don't have chat open, but there's probably a viewer in chat by the name of RodG1400. He likes to post grun facts. As long as if we can not ban him for doing it, that'd make like a lot of people happy. Oh yeah, I guess another thing you can talk about while this loads is all the bosses in this game pretty much are named after philosophers.
Yes, and they all tie in thematically to their bosses. So like Simone de Beauvoir is it's like all about beauty, and so that ties into Beauvoir's philosophies. And then you've got Grun, and you've got Koshi Roshi and Bokushi, and then Angles and Marks, which are literally arm and body, which I think is really funny. Yeah. Also, this is a clip out, which is so hilarious to me. You just jump in between those and you're out of bounds. This is actually a pretty cool skip. So what? Remember what I talked earlier about grabbing triggers and then like going out of bounds, getting triggers, and then going back. So we're gonna get the discovery cutscene, which we need, and then use this drown to go all the way back, and then go to the end. And what this also does conveniently is do a little dialogue storage. Which we're going to use to cancel some dialogue after we fight this big chicken and some cronies on the shore here that we affectionately call shore fight. And these guys are actually, I'm not going to lie, kind of spooky. At least the chicken is. The chicken is pretty spooky when taunted.
He can throw down some damage very quickly.
Yeah, he's sponsored by Drakengard.
Uh-oh.
WWE reference. Ooh, little unfortunate RNG, but
it's all right. We got him.
Basically done, yeah.
Shoutouts to Taunt for doing the heavy lifting there.
Taunt's crazy. So after
this is only Taunt plus
we're gonna
one.
Yeah, Taunt is insane. So we're gonna get some dialogue, and then jumping on this building here is that dialogue storage I was talking about earlier, and just cancels everything.
And now,
right, so
9S airwalks. Or, there he comes. He was just a little late to the party.
That's so funny. Dude, I found out the other day I was doing a little like stuff on my own. If you just go into the corner here, into the top right corner, don't actually do it. It loses time, I'm pretty sure. You can get the Goliath flyer to spawn on the right side.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it was really weird. I haven't looked into it because I'm pretty sure it's like 5 minutes slower. It might be the there's a couple ways to despawn waves here, which is just not worth it because of time. And you can either lose time. Oh, at best you lose EXP. At worst you lose like 4 minutes of time. So it's just not. Yeah, it's not worth despawning, but there's a way to despawn these waves. I will say, again, these are all predetermined waves, so a lot of this is just auto-scroller predetermined waves, and then you're going to see Kios doing a couple things. We're going to get to cores later, which are these yellow orbs. The reason I'm saying this now is because I'm probably going to kick it back to Wiki, our wonderful and illustrious host, in a moment here, but I'm going to talk about the golden orbs, and basically you have to kill the small orbs around it, which is by shooting, and I believe you hit 5 times, and then you start going back. Yeah, you go 5 hits, and then as you back up, it dies, and then you go to the next one. And so it's all very precise, but this is a glorified auto-scroller. If you don't have anything else to say, we can kick it over.
Yeah, if you got any donos, give them out. Let's go.
You got any words?
Yeah, definitely. First, I want to say that we're gonna like keep the bit war for the Earthbound names open for like 3 or 4 more minutes. So if you want to snipe one of those names, get it in right now. Also, we're close to 7K, so maybe we can like combine those two together. I don't know, maybe. Also,
yeah, let's get there.
Also, I have one $5 donation from Patty2Play saying insert witty donation text here. I like that comment actually.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright. Now we've got this Goliath flyer popping up, which they're like, ooh, this is the big boy.
He's a big boy.
The big boy.
I wish this was only the big boy. Oop. Come on.
What?
I wish it was the big boy, then we could just go back home.
I know, dude. Instead we've got Disco Whale to contend with. Now this fight is also a little bit, I wouldn't say precise, but there's a method to all of these fights. There's some like little tips and tricks, some hot tips and tricks to look out for, and this one is definitely having your buffs and then doing the pod program. You have to do it 4 times because we've got 2 pods, so we do it 4 times, and then doing the ranged attack with the melee. Sorry, my brain just started working at about 2% speed out of nowhere.
Dude, it happens.
Because you actually can't hit that weird saucer boy with melee attacks, even though it looks like you should be able to.
With the heavy you can, because it shoots the beam.
Yeah, the ranged melee, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. The hard sword is not, you can't hit it with that. But this is our buddy Theodore Ferdinand. Wait, Carl Theodore Ferdinand Grund? Is that the full name? Grun, not Grund.
I should probably have these facts memorized at this point.
Don't worry, I'm Googling. I'm Googling like a fiend right now. Yeah. It's Carl Theodor Ferdinand Grun. Also known by his alias Ernst von der Heide, which I am not German. I'm so sorry if anyone is and heard that. He was German journalist, philosopher, political theorist, and socialist politician. So, there you go. In game, this is a small baby, little babby chibless robot that doesn't really understand why it was banished to the ocean. So it's just kind of throwing a fit.
Baby grunt do 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 do, baby grunt do do do. The worst part is you're gonna have that stuck in your head now.
I already do. All it took was like the first 3 notes.
The goal of this speedrun is the first second you fall behind, you just immediately try and have fun with your run.
Yeah. Dude, I try to do that from the get-go, which is why I've never posted any notable times.
I'm still in the hunt for 126, and then I think I'm gonna pop over to E for a little bit until I can get into the low 4s.
E ending is really fun.
Oh, it is. In E ending, we run taunt +6, which basically everything just one hit kills you after C ending, I think, or in the middle of C ending. Is it B?
Yes. No, it's B ending. It's from, I want to say it's from Eve onward in B ending. Everything? No, not everything, but most things one-shot you. But yeah, so here's the delicious, delectable golden orbs I was talking about. Very precise. And if you're fast enough, they will not RNG you poorly. Sometimes they still do.
Looks good.
Beautiful.
Looks clean.
Really good.
Oh, you love to see it when a plan comes together.
I do.
And just give them a couple of tap, tap, taps. Just gonna tap, tap, tap it in. And that's 1 of 3 down. Yo, 7K
Fun
hype.
fact, if you, ooh. You have words about that, Luki?
As a matter of fact, I do. I want to say I'm going to cut off the bit we're right now, but we have had a couple of donations coming in. First of all, we have a $77.77 donation from Nanaki Emi saying, "Good luck on the run, Kios. Awesome to see you perform at a marathon. Also, of course, we want to see the Hakadon blindfolded." So this went towards the Final Fantasy 13 blindfolded Dahaka boss, which is pretty nice. That's probably an incentive, yeah. Do we have time for some more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've got plenty of time. You've got nothing but time.
Got like 2 minutes here at least.
Okay, fair enough. We have $50 from Fate with no comment, but put their donation towards renaming Pooh in Earthbound to King. And of course, we can only use the first letter, so we're gonna use the K for that. And that's actually winning, so that's really nice.
I love that.
We also have $20 from Annie saying, "Hey Doc, die run die. Please name Pooh Annie. Cheers." And one thing I want to mention is Fate actually donating $50, which means Fate is actually eligible to win the Switch that is donated by Kaspersky for this marathon, because that you need a minimum of $50 cumulative during this event to actually be eligible to win that. So, congrats, you are eligible for that.
Cool. So we're back to the auto scroller, everybody's favorite part. I would say that this is like one of the only deterrents for a lot of runners is this specific section, because the rest of the run bangs. The rest of the run is so rad, so action packed. And one thing that I used to say all the time was that one thing that I do like about Grune is that it's kind of a gatekeeper, because some of the most exciting, heart pounding, action-packed moments of the run come right after this, and it is just moment after moment, just insanity, just wild, like to-the-wall action, and it's gonna be a really great time as we watch Kyos just.
I look at it as a nice break, to be honest, at this point, and for me, it's a potential of a 25-second time save because I did not perform well on my PB run. He did not want any of my business. He spun me twice, I think, on the third one. Yeah, it was not a good time.
Yeah.
I guess you could say there is actually a bounty out, the infamous speedrun bounties. If you can find a way to skip Grun in RTA, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. So a lot of people willing to give you some good stuff, and a curry pizza. Just
curry pizza. Oh, that sounds really good.
Actually, maybe that's not on it anymore. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Tech. But coming up on core 2 of 3. Let's hope this one goes as well as the first one. But yeah, this is some people view it as a nice break, as Kyo said. But yeah, I like to view it as a commentator and viewer, as like the gatekeeper of the rest of the run, because it's about to get saucy. So strap in and get ready to stand, or sit at the edge of your seat, or wherever this phrase was going. I honestly can't really tell. I kind of lost it along the way. But
super clean. I'll take that.
Get ready to stand at the edge of your seat. Don't actually. That sounds kind of dangerous. But get ready for some action. It's about to get. We're about to get to some delicious yum times.
I've heard that standing on wheelie chairs is very not safe for work behavior.
Yeah, don't do that.
I've seen some things. But yeah, this is the third round of shmupping with Grun. The music is really good. I think I always forget which music piece it is, but I think it's a throwback to the first Nier, if I remember correctly.
I'm honestly not sure. That's something that I don't know. My brain turns firmly off. My brain, as you can tell by my pronunciation of off, my brain turns firmly off when Grune is on screen. So I have a hard time having any sort of critical thinking skills.
Yeah, I mean, if you have any other donos or anything, I guess we could cover that as well. Any cool incentives coming up or haven't been met yet?
Yeah, that 13 blindfolded run sounds insane.
Well, first I have actually a donation. I have a $50 donation from Eagle. So thank you very much for that. And that actually went towards the Pokemon Black 8% Walk Across Sky Arrow Bridge incentive. So, I mean, that's one of the incentives. And also, throughout all the hype for the donations the last couple of minutes, I completely forgot to tell, we reached 7,000K.
Woo!
So that's
Let's go.
Small troll from Generator, but we're out of here.
All right, and that's Grune. So now, the gatekeeper, we are past the gate. We got the key. We've gone through. It's time to sauce up some automata stuff.
I am going to introduce a new friend to the run. You guys might see it on screen. I'd like to introduce you all to Mouse-chan, or Cursor-chan, if you prefer the formal name. But she's going to be joining us for a few tricks here. They're really precise, so we try not to do them with controllers because it just makes things a bit inconsistent, and consistency is the name of the game here. That was a very sick dodge right under that bubble.
That's crazy. Also, a couple drown warps, just to point that out. These are just a little bit faster, some more beelines, you know, the classic. Just getting places a little bit faster.
Yep. There is a super advanced strat that involves also using the spear here, further up the sewer line, that drops us off where we need to go, but it is only a 4-second time save, and if you fail it once, you already start losing time.
I'm crying right now, Kios. I hope you know that I'm crying right now.
What?
I'm
you don't like that I still use the newbie strat?
I never knew it existed. Well, I knew it existed now, but back in my day.
back in my day, we had to heavy hold copied city clip, okay?
I still do that. I don't pick up spear, but I also don't play the game. So my opinion is moot. But yeah, so we're going to copied city, and Adam is just gonna talk and talk and talk, and we've got a fun little way to get around listening to that. As I said, a lot of the skips in this game are just huge dialogue skips, because most of the stuff that you have to wait around for are dialogue. So we're gonna find some really tricky ways to get rid of that coming up in this spot, which is a lot of people really like this area, me included. It's a really cool area.
Shoutouts to the best music in the game, pretty much, besides well, the version you hear in Tower.
My favorite is probably Secret Boss.
Oh, Secret Boss music, pretty good.
Because it's a variation of a very happy thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, so we're getting it talked at. This is a skip that we affectionately call Mansplaining Skip. So Adam's just gonna really talk a lot, and we're just gonna say, "Nah, dude, we out of here. We outie." So boom, beautifully done. And so you know when earlier, the door was a lot more interesting than 6-0, right?
Yep.
Well, this time, Adam is so much more boring. Like, that door had a little bit of character, had a little bit of personality. You could look at that door and be like, yeah, this door could hold a conversation. This elevator has no personality, but Adam is so boring that we're going to talk to the elevator instead. Fortunately, Pod has a nice little way of canceling out this dialogue with its own dialogue, saying like, yo, this is the wrong way. You sure you want to go here?
Okay, I also haven't done that in Japanese. I just kind of had to guess.
Yeah.
And I'm going to buff before we go into this fight, because for some reason, the buffs last through this cutscene, which is rather strange, but I'll take it because it literally cuts out having to do a bunch of extra menuing immediately into a slow-mo double damage glitch while taunting. It just kind of makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Especially when I have a couple more things to keep my head around. The fact that we have taunt makes pretty much all these fights really dangerous if I don't heal immediately, because if I get comboed, chances are I'm going down.
Yeah. So this is a fun little thing, is that Kios is just running around, not getting hit, which is nice, because that's a damage threshold, and then you wait for a dialogue to finish, then you hit him once, and then Adam is into the real fight. And now that first part is actually longer than the real fight, hopefully. If everything goes according to plan, this should just be sauced up if he doesn't do too many of those invincible moves.
Yep, I'm just going to buff for safety. Even though we're right there, I'd rather not risk it. I can lose 2 seconds to make sure we don't lose a run. All right. This, I think, is probably one of the most important skips in the game, to be very honest, with how much time and frustration it saves.
This one?
Yep.
Like this very... Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. All right, so that's a very cool dialogue skip. That allows us to... well, skip a really long chunk of dialogue and get this inbox here, which starts Pascal's dialogue earlier, so that we're there when Pascal spawns, and it's
so simple. Like the real tech on that is there's like an area that you can trigger a dialogue with that with the NPC, but it overlaps the area where that dialogue will start. It skips like I think it's like almost 2 or 3 dialogues of just panel chit chat, like, oh, hey, you should go to the factory. And then it's like, okay, like, I have to go to the factory, but it's like, hey, you should also check your email, but we're gonna not let you access your email for like 30 seconds while we talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, like, it's almost like, you know, when you're trying to talk and someone like just starts talking right in front of you. Nah, I'm just kidding. But it's one of my favorite actual dialogue skips in the game, because otherwise it's really kind of lame to just, like, if you mess it up, you have to like kind of really go out of your way to try and fix it, and you're still already losing like 20 seconds, and you just kind of end up standing around like waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. The backups are basically walk while the dialogue's happening, pick up the mail at the Nier factory terminal, and then you come over here and then you SD, because there's like a slow walk animation out of SD that's a little bit faster than this slow walk.
I got really excited that I beat Pascal here, but then I remember that you told me that Japanese voices are slower, and I just got really sad.
I'm sorry. It's all you. It's not the JP voices this time. It's the JP.
That was pretty smooth though. Like, if you're on top of your spear dash movement and you get some good enemy spawns, you should be able to make it here before Pascal spawns in. But you gotta be real good. I mean, like, real good. On average, I'm just behind where Pascal spawns by like a second or two.
So you like to live dangerously. Taunting those enemies, if you do anything wrong and you kill them, you...
Yeah, you can accidentally one-hit them.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yep, so I've lost it to J ending before too. Judgment.
Yeah.
Yep, everyone's got a J run.
Yeah. All right. Do you mind if I
do your thing, cuz I'm locked in on this.
Okay. I'm going to explain a lot of things, probably a little bit quickly. We're going to start now because there is a lot to talk about. So this robot over here, we can't skip this part. So he's just going to press this button, take us up to the top. We're going to go to a place called Mook's Room. Fortunately for us, Mook's Room is super high up. Like, it's like the Seattle Space Needle. Is that a thing?
Ironically, as the elevator goes down.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it.
Seattle has a Space Needle, right? Anyway.
Yes, Seattle has the Space Needle.
Oh, thank God. So it's really high up. And what's really nice about that is that Factory has a lot of hard triggers. In fact, it's got a few hard triggers. And we're going to pick up these hard triggers while staying out of bounds. And we need to do that by staying up here. So the first thing we're going to do you despawn Mook's Room?
No, I just go for it.
Nice. Beautiful. Kios is going to use this chance to... There's a lot of enemies that give a lot of EXP over here. And so Kios is just going to bundle them all up. Just bunch them up, get them nice and warm and toasty. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Nope. Nope, yeah. I just go straight for it,
dude. I misunderstood your answer.
I'm just out.
I misunderstood your answer. So, Kios despawned the enemies, and this allows this elevator to just spawn right away. And allows us to go here. Now, unfortunately, this elevator is going to stay open after 9S is talking, so we're going to have to clip out again so that we can activate this elevator and then go up to Mook's Room. Now, remember, Mook's Room is really high up, so we're going to use that height to go and plunge down and grab a trigger, and then in a really precise and very difficult trick, Kios is going to hover and trigger the game's auto reset point. So if you're falling for a certain period of time, you just respawn. This is a soft block aid to help you from getting soft blocked. To help keep you from getting soft blocked, rather. We're going to use that to pick up a trigger. We're going to just barely touch our toes, dip our toes into the trigger point, and then pick up that trigger, get some dialogue, and then hopefully respawn back up here because of the game's falling reset. And then we're going to use that to then be back up here in Mook's Room and then plunge into another area.
It's not frame perfect, but it is very frame tight. You have I'd say about a half a second of time, plus or minus on that, where either you don't get far enough or you go far enough and then you lose. It's 30 seconds time loss if you mess it up, roughly. But there is also a massive chance of you getting crushed by crushers and then deciding to lose 3 to 4 minutes. That is a run killer at pretty much almost any level in this game.
This is a really cool looking trick, and it was incredibly difficult. Really fantastic job on that, Kyos.
Yeah. I'll put it this way, for me at least, to get what I would call consistent enough to pull it off, like in runs consistently, and like, yeah, I'll still miss it from time to time, but it's like very few and far between. Probably 20 hours of just being in that room, falling, resetting, being in that room, getting it, getting excited, trying it again, completely failing it, reset again for probably 2 weeks worth of practice, I would say. And I still practice it. It's one of those things that you don't want to mess it up, especially in a big setting like this.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're out of bounds again. I forgot to tell you.
But just barely, just like touching, just barely, you know, like, ooh, tasting, just a little taste of the out of bounds. Just enough to stay out of range so that this enemy doesn't chase you around and attack you. It's a nice little comfortable area.
It's nice. We can just stay here and not worry, because this guy will attack you, and you can't damage him, so it's basically you're wasting a lot of time and energy. I think I have 2 more. It's whatever.
Listen for the listen for the music when they say. Yeah.
That was a little early.
No, it was good.
This might be able to one cycle, but I did start a little late. Ooh, that crit helps. Give me another one. Thank you. How about one more? One more? One more? Woo. Oh, it's so close.
Sorry, I gave you a really fast attack. That was a good boss fight.
That was gorgeous.
Gorgeous. All right, so we've got one more skip coming up. Or
Dang it! I was hoping you didn't know that I had that in my bag of tricks yet.
Well, there were skips anyway. You just confirmed it.
Yep. This is the only skip that is a commentator-based skip.
Hey, whoa! I found it. Don't take that from me. I searched for so long for this. This is called Shabu Skip. I did not name it. I am not that vain. But so the reason it's called Shabu Skip is because I like to commentate Nier, and back in the day when we had Nasty 18 Nier Automata speedrunning tournament, we did A ending, and I would talk about how we would do this skip, and this skip is also used in prologue, so it's the last like out of bounds part of the run that we do. And I would talk about how the game is a cycle, and the skips are a cycle, and it's almost poetic that you end on one of the first skips in the game that you do. And I would say that every single time. So when I found this skip that skips that, it actually skips me talking about how it's a cycle and it's poetic. So Shabu Skip skipped me talking about how the game's a cycle. Now we just need Shabu Skip so that we can skip me talking about how Shabu Skip skips. Put the skip. Jeez,
to be fair though, I spaghettied that so hard, you were able to talk about the skip and the skip. Oh well, sometimes that happens. I had trouble with that in the beginning of the game too. That little clip we do is actually deceptively difficult. You kind of have to pod launch yourself at the corner of that little gap, and then at a pretty precise moment, you have to dash back. I'm sorry, back at like a 90-degree angle to it. In order to kind of you're bumping in between 2 invisible walls, so you kind of just squirt yourself through it. Yeah. But yeah, if there's any last donations, bid wars, anything, now's a great time to do it, because I have like a pretty low-key fight, and then the rest of it's basically one giant boss rush.
Well, definitely. I can talk about the charity we're raising money for.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, currently we're raising money for the Alzheimer Fund, which is basically the Swedish Alzheimer Foundation. And the beauty is, because I can see you think like, okay, it's for the Swedish Alzheimer Foundation. What do we have to do with it? But especially the Alzheimer Fund, aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. So basically, they put their money into research, and research will eventually lead to knowledge that is helpful globally all around the world. So yeah, even if you're not, like, it's a Swedish foundation for now, but even if you're not in Sweden, this will benefit you as well.
Yep.
Great
I lost my
cause.
grandfather to Alzheimer's, so it's a charity I can definitely get behind. Speaking of getting behind, excuse you, gentlemen. Sneaking in behind me, pesky little boys. Oh, another one.
Oh my gosh. Those guys are really annoying. We didn't talk about it earlier, but the little stubbies, we like to call them whirly arms because when they do that spinning attack, they have like a deceptively large hitbox, and they're really annoying.
You also can't hit them, and if you try and dodge it, congrats, you get a perfect evade. Perfect evade is really cool. It looks really cool in the game, right? Every time we get one, I look at it as, well, I just lost 0.3 seconds. And you can do it like 9 or 10 times with those guys. I'm gonna, just for safety, because this can get a little hairy with taunt.
So a nice thing is that people don't know is you can just jump into the water here and just like bathe in it. Ooh, a little shocking, but that's fine. Nobody really cares. It's not doing anyone any harm. And ball 2 is done.
Just gotta put them away.
Yep.
Perfect.
Good. Instant vacuum.
I
Great
think
SD for the level up.
There we go. Oops, I did not get that level. That's embarrassing.
Oh, you got the level before. Because
Yeah,
you leveled up.
let's just heal first there.
Alright, so this is something called hill strats. So you know how we like to do the damage glitch, we like to do the double damage glitch? Well, it's at a really uncomfortable height unless we do this. If we go up here, then it sits right where we can attack it, just right in the, little sweet zone, and just,
Yep, just
bye-bye. I like to fish here.
Oh yeah, you can go. No, it was too late on it. Fishing's great. Shoutouts to mackerel, backerel, and fish percent. Shoutouts to watching Ame waste 40 minutes trying to get a swordfish machine.
Alright, so you heard Kios kind of say this, but this is a boss rush. There's not really any big skips. There is a little small dialogue thing that we do where we pick up our partner's dialogue and have it, ram headbutt into another one.
I haven't been able to get it for some reason. I'm just too slow on the controls. It's a really tight time window.
It's also I should not have brought that up because you're on JP and that makes it like impossible to gauge.
I've never done it in Ang either, so.
Yeah.
Whoa now, gentlemen, please. Please, one at a time. Orderly conduct. Thank you. This is good because I have to rebuff anyway. It's perfect timing.
Oh, that was cool. That almost had a weird. Oh, that crit was.
Yeah, that was healthy early.
Ooh. That was tasty.
There we go.
There you go.
Fire the lasers into the air to let them know who's going down here.
Yeah, that's especially hard with the one cycle. You're probably gonna be in the pit for a little bit because of the JP dialogue.
Yeah, that's okay. What I do in Ing, because I can't get the dialogue skip, so I just like hang out with Eve, I just hang out with Eve. To be honest, we like chill, and I just let them know what's gonna happen. Like, listen here, bud. I don't know who you think you are, but like I have terse words for you, young man. Look at him.
Hey, buddy.
Like, poke.
To quote Arrested Development. Hey, brother.
Hey, brother. Ooh. Stay down. Thank you.
Alright, so this is a kind of tight fight, and you really want to avoid getting something called platforms. Platforms is when he raises his arms.
He skipped.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I got time to kill
so
until he goes up.
That's phase 1. Do you do the
Yep, phase skip incoming.
Alright.
We should be able to get it.
Basically, as long as Eve's health doesn't reach full, then we skip the second phase.
We have taunt, which is gonna really help increase. And what did I have? A crit +1, crit +2?
I think you have a crit +1. I want to say +1. I'm not entirely
sure. +1 makes
we get a
sense.
couple
Yeah, it looks about right. Yeah, I just saw.
Come on, crit.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Easy, easy, easy. And I'm taunt +1, so I can basically Or am I taunt? Taunt +1. I'm taunt +1, so I can just do like an expanded version of taunt +2 strats here. I just got to be really safe.
Yeah. Yeah, this is so this is our first, well, one of a few important parts where, are you talking about SD strats?
Yeah, this should be
good. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay, so this is actually using SD for the intended purpose. Very nice. And luckily for us, we get no drawbacks from using it here because a cutscene takes control of our body, and so takes us out of the get up animation and all that stuff. So
I just have to properly heal when I take damage and keep him taunted. If you mess anything up here, you pretty much die. And by the way, come on before my buffs go.
There's going to be some dialogue here, and time's going to be coming up.
Time should be in about, I think, what, like 32 seconds or something like that.
Yeah,
this was not my greatest run. It's probably like a 133 or a 134, which ain't great, but I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank you for supporting charity. Shabu, thanks for joining me.
Of course,
any closing comments before we hit time here? I don't know what the time is. Well, we'll just do it when the cutscene skips.
Oh. Yeah, we're not entirely sure where this ends because the JP. What is it, bunker?
Yeah, this is normally when I get up and get really upset that I didn't PB.
Dude, I thought you did a great run. You put on a great show. You did a fantastic job. You got all the. There you go. Sorry.
Force of habit skipped it. Woo! Hey.
Dude, great run.
And now Shabu's going to take it away singing Weight of the World.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No. But I do want to say thank you so much, ESA, for having us, for having Nier, letting us show off our game that we love so much, and you know, Kios put so much time into it, and really, honestly, dude, you did such a great run.
Thanks. Couple mistakes here and there, but for a marathon, I'll take it. These runs, even world record, is not perfect. There is a mistake in every single run on the leaderboard. It's just there's so much going on in the run. Literally 1 degree wrong on the joystick, or you're a frame late with an input, and you know, disaster is awaiting.
Yeah. If you watch the run and you're like, wow, this is radical. Wow. Oh, my brain is, I'm having a great time. I want to do this myself. You can find our Discord at, I believe Kyo said it earlier, you can look up www.sponsoredbydrakengard.com. I believe there's another one that works too, which is
www.sponsoredbydrakengard.com.
But I think it should be also on the speedruns.com.
Which is also easy, www.speedrun.com/NA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely if you have any interest in running this or any other categories, we're a pretty tight-knit group, but we're always sharing strategy. We'll always help each other out. There's competition, but not in the very mean, secret, hidey, stratty type way. We're very supportive of each other, and we can always call on people for help when we need it.
I know there are people who literally, like, new players come in, they're like, I don't know how to do the skip. They'll stream it for you and teach you how to do the skip. Yep. Like, I've been in a good number of communities, and the Nier community is one of the most, like, inclusive and like easy to learn communities. The Discord is really well set up, and the resources are abundant and very detailed. So it's a really good run to learn. I would definitely recommend it, even if it's just for like a little bit of fun. It's a cool run to learn.
Or learn fish percent. It's only what, 10 minutes maybe.
Mackerel percent, or mackerel ending, K ending is world record is 7.5 minutes, I want to say.
A lot of luck involved, but it's good.
Under 8, yeah. It's a very short run, pretty easy to learn. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Kios, I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
It is my
phenomenal
honor.
runner, great personality.
That's
Thank you so much.
They say personality.
Yes, thanks Kios for running. Thanks Shabu for commentating as well. I think it was very entertaining. I laughed here and there during the run. That was great.
I'll take it.
For now, we're gonna take it over to the intermission screen, and then we're gonna have Earthbound right after. So don't go away. This is gonna be. Really
Please stay for Earthbound. Shoutouts to Doc, fabulous dude.
All right, see you in a couple minutes.